Hey, I heard that in your opening Zoom meeting, as you try to meet your players, Tress Way,
Hmm.
your punter, said he was ready to tackle his 2-year-old son. Now, Tress has 6 tackles in his 4 years in the league, so he's legit. It's not like a kicker talk. This guy actually looks for
Yeah.
physical contact. But what was so good about your message to the players in a virtual hello, this is who we're going to be?
Well, I really didn't want to do it virtually. I mean, first time I wanted to talk to my team, I wanted to do it in person. In 2011, we went through something similar in terms of the lockout, and I didn't speak to my team
Hmm.
until the very first day of training camp. So I was kind of hoping to do it in
Wow.
person, but as things were going on, and talking with a couple of the coaches, they just felt now's a good time for a message. And I thought, let's do it. So really, all I really spelled out was what was expected, more so than anything else, what we expect from them. But more importantly, I also told them what they can expect from us. And I think that the players got to understand, first and foremost, that we're all in this together and that we all share responsibility.
It's been a while since that group has had success. So as you jump in, how can you build that confidence before you win a game, before you get on the field together?
I think first and foremost, you have to make sure everybody understands what the vision is, what the goal is. And really, I try to make sure we spell that out too, as well as that we want to try and develop a sustainable winning culture. I mean, there's a lot of great examples in the league right now of people that have done that and been very successful. Andy Reid, Coach Belichick, those guys come to mind immediately because they've done it for so long and they've just been able to sustain success that long. We'd love to be able to mimic that here in Washington.
Uh, there's a player who I want to ask you about. And I really don't want to get into how much can he play, all that stuff. But Alex Smith, our friend Stefania Bell did an amazing show on Alex's comeback from his horrific leg injury. Have you been able to talk to Alex at all about his mindset and his approach to continuing to want to be a part of football?
We have, and we've had some great conversations on up until the lockout occurred, and so we haven't been able to get back to the facility and sit down with him again since. But I've just in getting to know who he is, I don't doubt him. But again, the one thing that he and I talked about more so than anything else is that he's got to be able to protect himself out on the football field before anything can happen, before we can allow him back on the field. But he's doing a great job. He's working hard. He's carrying himself the right way. He's doing things the way he's supposed to, and we'll see. You just never know, and we'll find out hopefully sometime in late August.
It's exciting to see him just be able to get back out and be on the football field in small steps. We all have great admiration for Alex and what he's overcome. We wish him the best. Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, was on Squawk Box on CNBC this morning, and his quote was that there will definitely be a football season. There's more encouragement than there was a month or 6 weeks ago. What are you feeling from your seat there in Washington?
Pretty much that. I mean, again, it's way too early, I think, for anybody really predict what's going to happen. But if things continue to trend in the right way, we continue to develop and learn more and more about the situation, circumstances, understand what's expected of us in terms of how we have to act and behave. I think we can hopefully get ourselves back into that position. And who knows? Hopefully, within time there'll be enough testing. Who knows when the vaccine will be found? But for the most part, we've got to go ahead and continue to practice the social distancing, following the rules from the CDC and just do the things the right way.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports just put up a story about 20 minutes ago, said that head coaches may be returning to the building soon as a week, and then maybe OTAs could happen in person with players towards late June. What would it mean if you are able, and we don't know if it's certain, if you're able to get your players for one session of OTAs, what kind of a difference could that make?
Well, I think it make a great difference because again, we can see exactly where we are, what we have, and we can also most certainly explain to the players and get the players to understand exactly what we're trying to do before we start training camp. That would be very beneficial to the new coaching staffs.
Chase Young, your pick, obviously at the number 2 spot in the draft. Tremendous film reel from his Ohio State days. Some game-changing plays, especially early in their season last year. As you watched him, given who you have there in Washington, what did you see that makes you think this could be part of a difference-making defensive front as you guys start this new era in Washington?
Well, I think a big part of it is just really you look at one thing, and to me that's you build your team, I think, from up front, offensive line, defensive line. I think those are probably the two most important things, and really felt strong about the opportunity to improve our football team that way. We really like who he is as a young man. Got a chance to spend some time with him prior to the to the shutdown of everything. So we had a good feel for him as a person. And then obviously his tape was tremendous, and just knowing the kind of impact he's going to have on our defense. Guys like that, we've got a couple of them. We've got a couple of quality young defensive players that are coming into their own right about now. And that's one of the pluses too, is if you look at the young guys that are up front that are playing, we can have a group of guys that can play together for a number of years and really, just say, hey, we don't have to worry about that position for quite some time. We can build the rest of the team now. And that's also one of the things that we looked at when we were making our decision, going forward and saying, hey, we fix the defensive line now, add that last piece to the puzzle with the D line. We can go forward and we can work on this position. We can work on that position. So, the impact of choosing Chase as our number one pick, I think really just is very helpful.
Ron, you've been a respected voice in the league for some time here. I'm curious your perspective on some of the changes made in the Rooney Rule. There were others discussed, but some that were made, including not being able to block assistants from those interviews as much as has happened in the past.
I think that's great. I mean, I've lost a number of assistants to jobs where they've got the opportunity to move up, and it's hard because I was in that position. I was very fortunate. I went and talked with Andy Reid. I asked Coach if that ever came up, would he let me go? Coach was so straightforward. Absolutely, Ron. I don't want to hold anybody back. And it was tremendous that he gave me that chance. So I've always remembered that. And so when I've talked with my coaches, I've always wanted to try and give them the opportunity to move forward. And I'm glad to see that. I really am, because, the only way guys get chances to go up is if they can take, the opportunity, the next opportunity, instead of having to wait. So this, I think, is a really good thing.
And sometimes, even if they don't get the job, that interview that they get may set them up for that next interview that they can knock out of the park and find that job. Thursday, in a couple of days, the owners are going to meet virtually. Rules changes are being discussed. Can I ask about the one that would replace the onside kick with 4th and 15 from your own 25-yard line? What do you think of that rule change?
I think it's interesting. I really do, because it's not necessarily replacing the onside kick. If you want an onside kick, you can onside kick. Now, if you're feeling pretty good about, the way your quarterback's been playing, or you feel, hey, this might give us a better opportunity, 4th and 15 is pretty promising. So, again, it's another thing that's going to put another decision-making topic on the head coach's plate. It's going to add, I think, a little bit of intrigue. It really is. So, and again, it's not there to replace the onside kick. I think it's to give the team another option.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The Sky Judge question as well is out there for the teams to discuss and the ownership to vote on here on Thursday. Thank you to Stephanie for driving. Stay safe on the road. We look forward to catching up with you around Washington. Ron Rivera, thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Always good to talk, man. Be safe.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.